Lindelof. Expansive in finding Rashford. Now it's Dalot. And Garnacho! That is of the very highest order in terms of the great moments of Premier League gymnastics. A pyrotechnic piece of goal scoring, reminiscent of a Rooney. Magnificent goal by the young Argentine.
This is phenomenal. You can see it on his face, he knows.
Van Aanholt's ball in. It's an important defensive header. Bernardo Silva winning the second ball. And Townsend! That is an unbelievable strike. Crystal Palace lead at Manchester City, but not just that, they do it with one of the goals of the season. A quite sublime moment for Ambrose Townsend. Here's Gareth Bale. There underneath his delivery, Reguilon back for Lucas Moura, makes it up for Lamela, through a crowd of legs, and in, and Tottenham against a run of play, strike first. A goal out of absolutely nothing for Tottenham Hotspur.
But look at that little Rabona finish from Lamela. It's a wonderful goal. It's one of the best you'll see.
Nice touch from Fred, perfectly weighted. Ronaldo! One of his very best. A magnificent strike. How many times he has been able to deliver the spectacular when his side have needed it most. That, a case in point. Out of the top draw from Cristiano Ronaldo as Manchester United strike first.
Matip, Jones, Salah, escape Cancelo. Oh, it's brilliant from Mo Salah. And still, Salah, oh, sensational! Absolutely sensational! Stellar! A goal to dream of! How has that man managed that? A blur of brilliance.
Here comes Payet. Oh my word! Absolutely magnificent! Wayne Hennessy didn't even move. Stunning.
Well, he's double guessed him, double bluff. What a free kick again.
Origi. Chan coming in. Oh, wow. Wow. Emre Can. Well, Lallana was special, but that is very, very special. And Liverpool have the lead in extraordinary fashion.
All you can do is watch and admire this. We talked about the midfield runners just a few minutes ago, saying that they're the ones that are looking to penetrate, but I didn't mean by doing this.
Wimmer. What a massive opportunity for Tottenham this is. And here is Harry Kane for Tottenham. Oh, what a goal! A classic derby goal from Harry Kane. Catch him if you can. It's quite brilliant. In context, for execution of the moment. Beat that. Harry Kane, Tottenham's number 10. Maybe his year, maybe their year.
Into stoppage time, 1 additional minute at the end of this first half. It's Defoe! What a goal! Jermaine Defoe writes his name in weird time first experience of this special fixture. Gineppo. Oh, very good skills. Will there be a good goal here? Better than good goal. That was a great goal. Inspired individualism from Moussa Gineppo. Well, quite magnificent. Use all the superlatives. Lovely sidestep there, and still got the strength and the composure to finish as he did, because he'd still got a lot to do. I mean, this was absolutely brilliant.
McKenna wins that. Fabian Schär. He can hit them. Oh, he can hit them. That is brilliant for Fabian Schär. Go Newcastle. Go St James's Park. The feel-good factor rises even more. And they have the lead on the opening day of the Premier League. And it's so very deserved.
Well, Newcastle needed an injection of quality.
Ward-Prowse with the corner.
Kudos!
Wow.
Hang on! Hold the phone in the title race! We've just had a very big last few seconds. Arsenal equalising in London. West Ham reducing the deficit. Ball given away cheaply now, Billing, and he's going for goal here, Philip Billing! Philip Billing puts Bournemouth into the lead. James Trafford caught out. Great awareness shown by Philip Billing. Could James Trafford have done more? Well, Bournemouth have thrown so many points away from winning positions this season, but today they've got themselves in front, having been behind.
Jose Sarr said, look, make sure there's at least two in the wall, because he might actually have a crack here at this late stage. Which he did! Oh, what a goal! What an astounding free kick! That is a belter. There's not many better in the world at scoring from a free kick than James Ward-Prowse, and there's another example.
Iwobi, 5 involved in this Arsenal attack. Prime among them, Alexis Sanchez. It's Giroud! Oh, that is utterly magnificent. Henrik Mkhitaryan eating your heart out. That is astonishing. Just so wonderfully dexterous and delightful and decisive.
Now Conte, here's Rudiger. Rudiger has a go, let's fly, and scores a magnificent goal. A bolt out of the blue. That was some thump, and this time Araya had absolutely no chance.
Here's Jermaine Defoe. Oh, what a goal! Absolutely staggering! Well, there is vintage Jermaine Defoe, as good as it gets.
Well, a goal out of nothing. Again, defenders getting turned around by one ball. But what a finish. Marco van Basten-like.
Barnes taking on Coleman, venturing inside the area and feeding Daka. Couldn't get it cleanly. Maddison working it back for Tielemans. A stunning opener for Leicester City, and no more than they deserve. He came close to the spectacular last week. This week, he has provided it.
Wow.
Mahrez, Alvarez, And still Alvarez goes. Oh, it is an absolute stunner. They lead again. Alvarez out of the top draw, into the top corner. Manchester City into top spot.
No Kevin De Bruyne, no problem. It's his replacement that gives them the lead again.
Hazard taking West Ham on and on. Astonishing. Absolutely amazing, but typical of the man. A stroke of magic from a genius. Right through the centre. And West Ham knew what was coming but had no answer.
Like a hot knife through butter.
Mikalenko ready to return it. Neto again clears. And oh, what a finish that is from Harrison! And finally, this season, Everton are in a good place. And Goodison, as Jack Harrison comes up with a moment of magic. Mitoma, danger here for Leicester. Mitoma! Fantastic goal for Brighton and Hove Albion. The South Coast sensations are at it again.
Salah! Oh wow! Oh! That is beyond special! Brilliant! A worldie and a half from Mohamed Salah, and Liverpool are dreaming!
The clearance has come to St. Maxima! Magnificent! An absolute stunner from Alan St. Maxima to draw Newcastle level. Here come Burnley now with Brady. Linking up with Rodriguez. Oh, what a screaming goal! It's nothing more than a footnote in the game. But Jay Rodriguez has just produced an absolute stunner from the best part of 35 yards.
Encithio. Oh, it's magnificent! What a goal! Magnificent! A first Premier League goal, and what a goal from Julio Encithio. Sensational. Top corner, top draw, and Brighton in front.
Rao with the delivery. Goes over to Willian. Sotopolinia. Back in by Deckard over Reed. Out to Willian. Still alive. Oh, brilliant goal! Willian finds the top corner. And Fulham take the lead.
What a strike. Cool as a cucumber as well. Just lured the defender into the challenge, switched it back onto his left foot and cracked it into the far corner. Top corner as well.
Closed down by Sacco, came to Mata. Di Maria. Mata! Oh, yes! That's a beauty! United glory on Liverpool turf! It's a fabulous goal! Davis. Eriksson! Oh, what a goal! Top draw! What a player! He has fizzed that in. And Spurs have rare parity at the bridge. Here's Welbeck. And he's rolled it for Bellerin and Ramsey! And Arsenal lead down the lane! The Gunners go ahead at Tottenham! And it's Aaron Ramsey!
Here's Lanzini. Antonio. West Ham looking to make it safe. Oh, what a goal from Andy Carroll! A quite sensational strike. Brilliant technique. Carroll doubles the lead. West Ham 2, Crystal Palace 0. What a way to win a London derby.
Cleared by Dummett. De Bruyne! Oh, that is outstanding! Truly brilliant from Kevin De Bruyne! Count on the fingers of one hand the men in the world who could execute that.
In by Daniels. Good effort. Oh, what a goal that is by Ritchie. Jaw-droppingly brilliant from Matt Ritchie. And what a start this is for Bournemouth. 8 minutes gone. They lead by 2 goals to 0.
Well, you won't see a better strike this season, Gary. That has absolutely flown into the net.
James Maddison back from his suspension. Thumped by Tielemans. Oh. Outstanding. As pure a strike as you will see.
Xherdan Shaqiri. Daniel Sturridge! Oh! Sensational! A stellar hit from Daniel Sturridge! And Liverpool are level. Oh, what a hit!
Well, I wondered if he'd get an opportunity.
Oh! What a way to come back with a cracker! All round the ground, the Brighton fans are off their seats. A special, special moment. This hard-running style is leaving Leicester trailing. It's a fantastic goal. It's Aubameyang again. Passing at pace, unstoppable. Standing ovation around the stadium, and rightly so.
And now Foden. Foden whips it in. Allen nicks it out. Rodri! Oh, wow! Does he not thump that? Take away the rigging, and that is travelling into tomorrow and beyond. Costa. Matic. Pedro. Pedro! Oh, screamer! What a hit from Pedro! Potentially defining! Lightning! 1-0 Chelsea. Out comes Ederson. Salah! What about it? The Fab Three all on the score sheet, and fabulously on each occasion. City hit 5 in September, Liverpool have 4 in January with power and time to add.
Ryan Bertrand. And Martina. Oh, how about that? Cuco Martina on his full Premier League debut with a magical blast from distance that gives Southampton an improbable lead.
Well, welcome to the Premiership. Martina has struck.
Here's Masuaku. Now Obiang. Well, that's a great try. He has struck an extra set of a shot. He may never strike a ball better. Bearing in mind the extreme balance, if you can call it that, of this derby, that could go down in Hammer's folklore.
Zinchenko caught in possession in a dangerous area. Goalkeeper off his line. That is quite magnificent. Well, if ever you're going to break your Premier League duck, do it like that. Shea Adams.
Well, you think a man lacking in confidence hasn't got a goal for the Saints yet, but what a finish this is. And the audacity to even take this on.
Ibe. Young's the defender. Ibe plays it in. Benteke, wow! Has he hit that or what? Old Trafford stunned into silence. That is a fabulous goal.
Can they get back at level terms? Enciso. Oh, it's beautiful! Julio Enciso could hit that as often as he likes, but he'll never hit it better than that. Back on level terms with a bang! It's the first time he's ever scored at the Amex. He may never score a better goal here.
Penalty spot and over the head of Evans. He'll stay in there. And across this time, so Yunshu's header. Oh, what a strike! A stick of dynamite! Harvey Barnes introduces himself with something rather extraordinary.
And moved on now for Son, and Holding's got a problem. And Reguilon is beyond Son, and Son went for goal! Outscored beautifully! That is one belter of a derby goal from Son Heung-min.
What a strike that is.
Silva back to Kyle Walker again. Here's De Bruyne. Oh, what a goal! Well, should we be surprised? But just bow down at his feet. This boy is brilliant. 2-0 Manchester City. Kevin De Bruyne.
Well, that's what it is. Absolute brilliance.
Wissa. Reguilon. Reguilon's cross. Wissa! How about that? A party piece and a half from Jørgen Wissa. Brentford have come from behind to turn this one on its head. Brentford 2, Chelsea 1.
Decent attempt, more than a decent attempt. A stunning goal from Harry Wilson. What a way to mark his home debut. 2-2 for him. Bournemouth back in the game in first half stoppage time with one that he will never forget.
Oh, he still got it. And still, are you? Oh!
Oh, what a goal for Crystal Palace! Absolutely magnificent! In the 90th minute, Jordan Ayew, Crystal Palace's top scorer, has surely won it, just as he did at the London Stadium in October.
And with Godfrey. Keane has a go. Oh! Astonishing redemption. He's given away the penalty, but he's come up with the most extraordinary equaliser. Michael Keane.
It's Alexander-Arnold! And it is picture perfect! His most recent goal came against Fulham in December. Trent Alexander-Arnold finds the back of the net against them again.
Kovacic. De Bruyne. What a ball towards Bob, and Oscar Bob tucks it in for what may prove to be the decisive goal. And yes, they'll talk about the finish, but what about the setup from Kevin De Bruyne? It's the hallmark of champions, stoppage time, deep midwinter, difficult away game.
Bruno Fernandes, held up by Ruben Diaz. The arrival of Rashford! Oh,
wow!
Marcus Rashford! Who loves to score in a Manchester derby! That is his 6th against City! What about that? Nobody saw that coming!
Chelsea playing with a desperation which would hint, if you didn't know otherwise, that they were chasing the title. Costa, away from Alderweireld, Diego Costa, Eden Hazard! Glorious goal! Leicester City are 7 minutes away from being champions of England, courtesy of Eden Hazard! Chance for Vardy to run, and Vardy goes first time and scores a stunner! Leicester's very own fantastic Mr. Fox. Even by his standards, even by Leicester's standards, a truly significant and special moment.
Picked up by just a Gay, and now Damari Gray has got space in front of him to chase down. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is making his way in. Gray goes for it. Oh, it's beautiful. What an equaliser. Damari Gray coming up with the goods just when they needed it most.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Mkhitaryan in the middle! That is special! This famous stadium has seen some wonderful goals down the years. That is right up there. Breathtaking. He has touched the stars with that.
Neil takes towards Tarkowski, but he's marshalled by Vertonghen. Son now. Ali to the left. Son on a mission to go alone. This is sensational! World class! Absolutely stunning from the Asian Footballer of the Year. Top marks for that, and Spurs roar into a 3-0 lead.
Well, he's nearly